So grab your headphones, let the journey start. With Suzy's Vegas tales, she's stealing the heart. In the city of dreams, let's laugh and play. Suzy's Las Vegas podcast, come join the sway.
Well, hello there. We're back again, and I have a fantastic guest today. She's from the East Coast, well, she's not exactly from where I was at, but she was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and she moved up to Massachusetts, and her name is Liz Moore. She moved here, and you're going to find out all about her, and I am so glad to have her on my show. Hi, Liz. How you doing?
Hi there. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me today. And
well, I'm excited to have you here. Honest to God, East Coasters, we have to stick together, don't we?
Absolutely. So if I talk too fast or
No,
if
you're
my
talking
accent
just
comes out.
Nope, you're talking just fine for me, and it's right up my alley. I love this. This is great.
Every now and then my Boston accent will squeak out. So we'll see.
That's good. So let's talk about you today and your life and how you got here. But tell me a little bit about your life back east, and then we'll work our way through, because I want to hear the whole story, and I'm sure our audience does too. And if you like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And, give me a thumbs up. You want to have Liz back on the show. Okay, Liz.
All right. Well, I was born in New York and grew up in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So went to college there. After school, I head up to Boston. So
I love Boston.
Me too. It's one of my favorite places.
Newbury Street and the Swans. Oh my God, yes.
28 years was wonderful. Except it snows a lot up there.
Yeah.
So I did meet my husband. We got married, had our son.
What year did you meet your husband?
Oh gosh, 1991.
Okay.
We met my late husband, I should say.
What was your late husband's name?
Tom Moore.
Tom Moore. Okay.
He was well known in the city in Everett, where he was from. He's very proud of being from Boston.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. He was. He worked for the electric company for years, way back when it was called Boston Edison. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Many years. Yeah.
Many years he was with the electric company. That was really his only career. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
And do you mind talking about what happened?
Oh, it was.
It's a tough story.
Yeah, it is a tough story. I mean, any type of loss can be really hard.
Absolutely.
It was 2007, August in 2007. We were actually planning on having a huge barbecue that weekend, and he had taken the day off. But the night prior, he had worked crazy hours. He was probably gone about 23 hours.
Where was he working?
Still in downtown, probably in Cambridge. I think there was a problem with the lights. It was August, so it typically was very warm. And not to get too detailed, but he had a massive heart attack in the house. And, you go through, you call 911 and the whole 9 yards. And I was trying to protect my son because he was home. Not only had my son there, but a friend of his. So I called a neighbor to come over and grab the boys. And I didn't want them to see anything. I don't know what they were going to see. But, when you live in a smaller town, they come with 2 fire trucks, an ambulance, police cars. It was a lot of hoopla. So it was really tough because my son was 6, turning 7. And, when you're married and you don't expect to all of a sudden be a single parent.
No.
And he was super young. He was 42.
Oh, wow.
I
That
was
is young.
43. So it was rather shocking.
So how many years ago was this?
I think we're going on 20 years.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, the two things, it's weird when someone passes away what you think of. I thought of immediately was, how am I going to pay the mortgage? And what am I going to do for health insurance? Because he carried the health insurance since I was an entrepreneur, owned my own children's store at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I had a lot of support, so I was really lucky in that sense. You tend to support each other.
Sure.
He had a lot of friends since he had grown up there, and they were always checking in on me, and I was checking in on them, and it was tough back then. But I can definitely say that it's part of my journey. It doesn't define me or my son, but it was a huge part of our life. It was a shakeup.
Absolutely. So let's go forward. When did you move to Las Vegas, and I guess you're here with your son now?
Well, he came first, actually. So
What is your son's name?
my son's Jake Moore.
Hey, Jake. Nice to meet you. Hope to meet you in person.
He's 25.
Okay.
And, when we were in Massachusetts, we had decided we were going to move. We moved to Florida for 11 years. One year we had 95 inches of snow. So 2012, I sold my store, I sold my house, and we moved down to the east coast of Florida. We lived in Delray Beach and then Jupiter.
Yep.
And it was good. It was a good experience. My son went to school there and he graduated. But at one point, I just felt like Florida had run its course. So when he had told me he didn't want to stay in Florida, I was like excited, woohoo!
Yeah.
Because that meant I'd be free to go wherever I wanted.
Right.
So he headed to Las Vegas, and I went back home. I went back home to Pennsylvania
Okay.
to be around family and reconnect. Was there about 10 months, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I threw the dog in the car, and I drove cross country.
There you go. And you ended up out in Vegas.
I first were Utah. I spent
Okay.
the summer in Utah for
Okay.
4 months. I loved it.
A lot of people go up there in the summer when they want to get, out of the heat here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just beautiful,
it's
and the
gorgeous.
national parks.
Yes.
It's lovely. I mean,
it's
I
wonderful.
didn't realize. I think I always thought I was a beach girl, and then all of a sudden I realized I think I like the mountains.
Yeah.
So I was originally in Utah for a conference and a wellness retreat, and then I was like, you know what? Let me just spend a couple months there, and a couple months ended up into 4 months. And then my son's like, why don't you come to Vegas and we'll work in the health insurance sector together. And he also does commercial insurance. And I've been here a year and a half.
Okay. Time goes by fast, doesn't it?
I know. Another new city, another new friends
Yeah.
to make and
Well,
meet.
yeah, we met at Andy's at SCORE. The women's, it was on a Friday. It
Women's
was
networking.
Yeah, U.S. Bank, I think it was down there.
Yeah, it was a great
It was
meeting.
wonderful.
It was a great meeting.
I love it when everybody gets together and you find out their stories and all the things that are going on. It's great.
A lot of resources for
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, a lot of resources for women entrepreneurs. And that's an exciting, I mean, small businesses make up a big portion of Las Vegas as much as the larger corporations
That's true.
do.
Very much so. Actually, most people don't realize it, do they?
No,
About
I
how
mean,
many there are.
whether it's, the realtor who's an independent person
Right.
or people that own a retail space or this like home bakeries, there's just so many things
Yeah.
that are popping up
Yep.
and people need support with, whether it be funding or just, do I need to be an LLC or should I be an S corp? There's a lot of questions. How do I get
Absolutely.
licensing? How do I get funding?
Yeah.
And I decided recently that I wanted to be a SCORE volunteer. So I
You
signed
know
up.
what we have to do? Hey, Andy, we're going to see you next week on the show. So we didn't forget about you. We're just doing a warm-up, right?
Exactly. Andy will be my side.
Yes.
I'll be his sidekick.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Honest to God, I love him. Yeah, they're so nice. They really are. So you met Andy, and then that's how you got involved in SCORE, or how did you get involved in SCORE?
So when I owned my children's store, I needed an SBA loan, and I
Okay.
went to SCORE. Yeah, I think it was in Danvers, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Sat with, at that point, you sit with people face to face.
Exactly.
And, they gave me a list of things I needed to come back with, my numbers. I came back and they put it in a spreadsheet and then they sent it out for funding. And I was able to secure $65,000 to buy the store and then some. And I would have never been able to move forward if it wasn't for SCORE. So I have
That's a beautiful
an
testimonial.
incredible, positive memory how they helped me, and they were available even after the fact
Right.
because questions, come up. And
Sure they do.
I mean, at that point, it was decided, I decided to be an S corp, and they had people I could reach out to who were attorneys, and then the attorney sent me to the accountant, and there was just so much I didn't know about owning a store. And then at that point, my son was like only 2. So yeah, I wanted to always own my own business, and I was able to
There's nothing
realize
like
that
it.
dream.
The feeling is wonderful, isn't it?
Right. Well, I'd rather work 80 hours for myself than 40 hours for somebody
I'm with
else.
you. That's why I did all my own businesses too. Yeah, it's
I
wonderful.
mean, you just never know what
Yeah.
the day is going to be like. And even though if it's up and down, you
It's
just
still
roll with
yours
the
at the
punches.
end, yeah.
Right, you're responsible
Yeah.
for it.
If it survives, you're responsible. If it, you're responsible.
I had 6 employees. That was the toughest part,
Oh, yeah.
managing
Been there, done that.
personalities.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was
for sure.
it was a good experience. So I decided when I was here that for me to meet people, if I was going to stay in Vegas,
Right.
the only way I was going to meet people was if I stepped out.
That's right.
Right. So I joined the Ladies of Las Vegas. It's a social and business networking group.
Ladies of Las Vegas, it's called. Okay. Well, this is first I've heard of them.
Oh.
So let's talk about Ladies of Las Vegas.
Ladies Las Vegas is it's a paid membership.
Okay.
You have social events and networking events. We get together for coffee. We get together to review our businesses. There's someone there that does headshots. And, if you need support in your business, there are people, like I tried to go to my little network first.
Okay.
Because I feel that they're aligned with my values and
Right.
they know that I'm a member and not that they're going to treat me better, but I just know that I can rely on them.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's the biggest
So that's
thing.
kind of my tribe.
Okay.
Right. And then I decided, okay, let me go further, and I'm going to go in and start improv classes.
Okay.
So I started to do improv.
You did?
There's a lot of groups here. Mom's Basement is one of them.
Really?
Yeah, there's another one down that meets at Grace Valley Church, and they have drop-in classes, or you can commit to 8 weeks. So that's a lot of fun. I mean, especially if have any kind of stress in your life, you can't be stressed when you're
No.
doing improv. We
No.
do games.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of people.
Well, that's
All
great.
ages. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Awesome.
And then I decided I was going to do SCORE as well,
Okay.
be a member
So
there.
you wanted to help other people.
I do.
Yeah.
I wanted to help other entrepreneurs hear about what their ideas.
Sure.
I think it always lends itself to when you talk to another entrepreneur who's excited
Yeah.
about an idea, how can you not be excited?
No, it really gets you charged up, doesn't it?
It does,
Yeah.
and I have a few business ideas. Like I said to you, I wanted to have a podcast myself. I've been approached a couple times.
Okay.
And
Well, here you are.
I know.
Yeah. See,
my
I'm trying to
first-
make your dreams come true.
My first experience. Thank you, Suzy.
You're welcome, Liz. So let's talk about insurance. And I'm working on doing a second show about insurance because a lot of people need to know, when somebody puts a contract in front of you where they go in for insurance, a lot of times they don't realize what it is they're getting.
Well, as a courtesy, I'm available, whether someone works for an employer and has 2 or 3 or 4 plans that they're looking at. As a
Right.
courtesy for them, I will lay out the parameters of the plan and break it down for them, because not everybody knows what a deductible is, or co-insurance, or co-pay. There's a lot of words that,
Right.
how much is coming out of my check, and, what it was going to be my ultimate responsibility, God forbid if something happens. right?
Correct.
So I do that for people. I offer consultations, whether they're in my hope is that I put someone in the best situation that they can be in.
That's wonderful.
Financially, you can't put somebody in a situation where they can't afford. So let me just give you
That's
an
right.
example. I'm licensed in 34 states.
Okay.
I'm able to help people on as far as the Affordable Care Act, also known as the ACA. You have a state plan here called Nevada Health Link,
Okay.
which I'm not a member of. You only have to jump on there in June. It's they have
It's called
parameters.
Nevada Health Link.
Nevada Health
Okay,
Link.
Nevada Health Link.
And
Okay.
then, but I'm going to talk about a family in Pennsylvania because I am a Penny certified broker over there.
Okay, that's great.
So I get a phone call, and the family of 3 was their particular insurance plan was going to go from $1,200 a month to $2,400 a month.
Oh, my God.
There's a husband, wife, daughter, and they make a fair amount. They make, decent money, but still, who wants to pay $2,400?
A lot of people can't.
Well, they didn't even know, they were at a quandary. So what I did was the wife had to stay with the state plan. I removed the husband. Obviously, I suggested to remove the husband and the daughter to a private plan. I saved them a few $100s a month. Nothing significant, but not $2,400. So instead of paying the $1,200, I think they're going to be paying like $1,100 a month. So I kept them in the realm
of where they were comfortable,
where they were before. And
Correct.
then, another family, their bill was going from $2,200 to $4,400. I mean,
Is it like this year, in this past year, or how long ago was that?
So during COVID, President Biden instituted increased subsidies. So the Affordable Care Act is based on what you make, where you live, and how many people are in your family.
Okay.
So prior to Biden's increased subsidies, if you were a single person, you made $50,000, you probably wouldn't get a subsidy, or you maybe get a small subsidy. And if you were a couple and if you made over 80 to 100, you probably didn't get a subsidy. During COVID, he altered that, where people were receiving subsidies, greater subsidies that no longer were prior. Those were grandfathered. The extra subsidy was grandfathered this past December, 12/31/2025. So it was a very contentious discussion among our leaders, our Congress.
Okay.
And it was decided that they were going to deal with it in January and February, which I was hoping that they would revisit it, but other things have happened and may not have been a priority for them. I can't really speak on that. But not only when you see with the Affordable Care Act, it does provide services for people because they don't look at pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
But when it's based on income and you are one person or two people or a small family, and if you're making over a certain amount and you're not getting a subsidy, it's extremely expensive. And those plans typically go up 20 to 25% a year, guaranteed. So that's designated from the health
20
insurance.
to 25% a year?
Yeah,
Wow.
roughly, maybe 18 to 22%, depending upon what you're looking at. They come in tiers. There's bronze and silver and gold. Bronze, silver, gold. Sometimes there's platinum. They come with limitations too. They cover you in your network, in your county, or in your state. Once you leave the state, you're out of network, and you're pretty much 100% responsible for whatever
happens.
Whatever you may incur if you have to go to an ER or have an accident, or if something were to occur.
So when they say out of network, I mean...
Out of network is out of network.
Out of network, okay.
Yes, 100% responsibility.
Wow.
So private plans offer a little bit more flexibility. They're PPOs usually. They cover you.
PPO, for people that don't understand, let's, give them the... skinny on that.
Preferred provider organization.
Okay,
So
PPO.
they offer you more flexibility than an HMO. And they have PPOs on the affordable.
And the HMO is?
Health Maintenance Organization.
Okay, all right. So PPO, HMO. Okay. I'm glad we're getting into this, because I want to go 101, and work my way out. Yeah.
But the best, if you can find a plan and you can qualify for a plan that will cover you outside of your state.
Okay.
Where you can go to any doctor that the plan will cover.
Yeah,
that's your best bet. I mean, that's why.
Are they hard to find?
Not hard to find.
Are they very expensive?
No, not expensive. They're usually more affordable. However, you may have to medically qualify.
How do you medically qualify?
Well, it just all depends. Everyone's situation is unique, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, I have plans that will cover people who have maybe type 1 diabetes, but I have other plans that may be more stringent and looking at people who don't have a chronic illness.
Okay.
And then there are some situations like heart are typically a condition that some of the insurance companies really the Affordable Care Act would be your best situation because it's too much of a risk.
The heart.
The heart, any type of heart condition. Cancer, there's usually a 10-year waiting period. If you're beyond the 10 years, the private plans will consider taking you. But they're underwritten, so you have to fill out an application,
And
get
list
approved,
everything. And
list everything, list medication, get approved.
do you have to do like a physical and a blood test and all that, or no?
One of them you have to have a phone call
Okay.
to attest that everything
That
you
you
said
wrote
was
is true.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you're approved, you're good to go. You're basically the responsibility of the insurance company if something were to happen.
Okay.
They definitely will cover you whether you're in state or out of state.
And this plan is one more time?
This plan is called a private plan.
Private plan.
Private
Okay.
plan,
All right.
medically underwritten private plan. It's more
Okay.
than one. We have a number of companies
Okay.
that provide that type of
So
insurance.
private plan. Okay.
Like they're perfect for a traveling nurse
Okay.
or a real estate agent or somebody that maybe does construction and has to leave the state or
Well, sure, there's people that travel, all over. Yeah.
home inspection.
Yes.
Traveling.
See, I didn't know anything about a private plan, so this is quite interesting. You have a lot of knowledge, don't you?
I've been doing this since 2018.
Okay.
So,
I think we're talking to the right girl here.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, it was important for me to help people. That's really why I got into it. I wanted to, one of the companies is their motto is hope, help other people every day. And
Oh, I like that.
it's
Help other people
very
every day.
important that, in my opinion, it's not about the sale. It's about putting someone in the right situation.
You're exactly right.
And when I get a text or a phone call from a client in Ohio who had breast cancer and out of the blue tells me, hey, Liz, I'm glad you called me that day when I was, in the salon. You saved my life.
Oh, wow.
Because if I was on the other insurance plan, I don't think all my treatments would have
No?
been covered. So,
That has to be such a good feeling.
yeah, it is. It's definitely makes it real, and it shows how important what we do and that we're doing the right
Oh,
thing by people.
absolutely. Well, there's so much to talk about in the insurance. Like I said, most people, when you're talking to them about it, they don't know exactly what they have. They sign on a dotted line. They're looking for like the best price or whatever, and they think they're going to get all these things, and they're really not. I mean, you're breaking it down on,
Well, we don't expect things to happen.
No.
Right? And that's
No.
why most of the time they're called accidents.
Correct.
And then, there's a situation that I know of. I won't mention anyone, but
Okay.
a young person ended up in the hospital for 4 days, and the bill was $250,000.
Yep.
And even with insurance, there's a large portion, a few $1,000s that's going to be the responsibility
Of
of
the-
that client.
Yeah.
So,
How do they cover that? That's the next thing.
well, maybe you have savings to cover it or a payment plan. I always put people with some accident coverage, so if it was due to an accident.
Yeah.
Like I had a gentleman, he had to have extensive eye surgery. He was hit with a cricket ball in the eye.
Oh,
So, we have accident coverage to mitigate people's losses.
so in addition to the,
The health insurance, it's built in.
yeah, it's an accident insurance?
It's an accident plan. It's part of the insurance.
Okay.
Or even if you work for an employer, you may see that they have additional accident coverage or.
Okay.
And now they break it down. Some employers, you can have cancer and you can have a lot of different add-ons.
Right. There's a lot to it, isn't
That's a
there?
lot of information.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you're making my wish come true because, as I told you, I want to be able to do another show where we talk about the ins and outs of the insurance and Medicare. And, when you reach that golden age, like I am, and many of my people, it's good to know what we're really looking at.
What I tell people is talk to someone who's a broker.
Yes.
Don't speak to, I mean, you can speak to someone, but say, for example, if there's an agent and they only carry Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's Anthem here.
Okay.
They're going to tell you to choose Anthem.
Sure, they're trying to sell their product.
Right, because that's the only plan that they have. But
Right.
you're better off talking to someone that can look at everything that's available, point them out. I mean, sometimes I don't receive a commission from a particular product if I'm not appointed with them or if they're not giving compensation for whatever reason.
Okay.
So, but if it makes sense, if their doctors, in Care First, and I don't have any other product and they don't want to change or they're seeking treatment for something, they need to go with that particular insurance company.
course, yeah.
And certain doctors fall off, come on, but that's why every year you got to look at it. You have to evaluate what's available, what your needs are, and what's affordable.
That's the big number one question, too. What's
Right.
affordable and, will it cover what I need it to cover?
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody wants something with all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
But if all the bells and whistles aren't going to be affordable,
Then it isn't, no.
so maybe, and I always ask people, would you rather pay more, per month, or you want to pay at the time of service? Because then that helps me guide them to maybe their different options.
Sure, absolutely.
But I'll lay it out, and ultimately it's up to them. And then after we secure a plan, it's important that they know that they can call me. I do a lot of my own customer service. We have a full-on customer service department. Any of the carriers that we work with.
Good.
But I mean, if they need something simple, like they need a copy of their card or they need a particular form, or they need they're somewhere, maybe they're out of state and their daughter hurt themselves in a dance competition, or they need an orthopedist that accepts the plan.
Sure.
Because you get the most savings if you stay in network.
Right, absolutely.
Even with a PPO. So you want to stay in network, and I do that for people. I do it all the time. I help them fill out the accident portion or connect them or be on the phone with them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean,
that way
there's-
they're not alone when you're going through this.
And there's, you can't expect people to know all this information. And
Right.
even for us as agents or brokers, you have to keep abreast of what's going on. There were a lot of changes in 2025, and there probably will be changes moving forward because there was that legislation that passed, and we just don't know how that's going to impact the
The
future.
big, beautiful bill? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah,
We
no,
really-
we don't know yet, do we?
Nope, but I mean, I've have some clients that I help and their kids are still on a Medicaid, and then I'll get a phone call saying that my kids are getting kicked off, and then we
Yeah.
have to pivot and have them added to the policy. So yeah, you have to
be really proactive and, watch what's going on.
There's going to be
too.
changes.
Yeah.
There are changes, there have been, and there's going to continue to be changes in the healthcare. And I think, I personally think it needs a overhaul completely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you go outside of the country, some countries, France and
Yeah.
Spain, and if you can acquire residency there, they pay $100 or less a month for very good health insurance.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
So when you see around the world, it's totally different than here. Absolutely.
right.
Well, this is great, and I'm so glad I'm going to have you on my show again next week. And Andy will be here. And, this was a little taste, folks, but what I'd like you to do for me, if you have any questions for Liz, be sure and put in the comment of what you watched today, because we'll answer your questions. And if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that? What is your cell phone number?
And my phone number is 561-886-8086. It's a Florida number. I do have a Las Vegas number. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Well, we promise before we're done with this, she'll be showing you the Las Vegas number, because she's staying. I'm not going to let her leave. How's
You can
that?
text me anytime. There's people that text me what 1, 2 in the morning. I do shut the ringer off now.
Okay, there you go.
Because
That way you can
I
sleep
do a lot
little.
of East Coast business.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll get a text at 5 a.m. because it's 8 o'clock over there.
Well, I still have a second cell phone. It has the Pennsylvania number. So yeah, I know what you're talking about, 3-hour time difference. And it's like, okay. Yeah. And I shut the ringer off on that one too.
Just
yeah.
at night.
Yeah, of course.
Just at night.
Yeah.
Just from like 10 to 7 a.m.
Yep. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. I'm looking forward to next week and seeing the dynamic duo, you and Andy. Andy, did you like that, what we had to say? He'll kill me.
Andy's my trainer for
Yes,
SCORE.
he's like Superman.
He's going to be spending a lot of time with me.
I get a kick out of him. I really do, but he's a wonderful man. Really, really nice.
He's a good guy.
Yep. Okay, so that's our show for today, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.
So grab your headphones, let the journey start with Suzy's Vegas tales. She's stealing the heart in the city of dreams. Let's laugh and play Suzy's Las Vegas podcast. Come join the sway.